The teasers dropped. The fandom went silent. And in an instant, the entire K-pop world was just, well, it was turned completely upside down.
Oh, it was a total shock to the system.
All right, welcome to StarScope K-Report. Join us as we ride the Hallyu waves, uncovering, the biggest K-pop comebacks, shocking industry controversies, and major K-drama updates.
Exactly. From internet-breaking rumors to historic chart milestones, we dive deep into the world of Korean entertainment.
And today's deep dive is, it's intense. We are looking at the headline that has absolutely taken over the internet. They finally broke. NewJeans' secret message to HYBE fans.
Yeah, we are unpacking a massive multi-year saga that blends global pop culture, high-stakes contract law, and alleged corporate fraud.
Right, and just so you know where we're getting all this, our source stack includes Korean entertainment media like Koreaboo, Chosun, the Korea Times, and FC.ne, alongside some really rigorous legal analysis from IPG Legal and current solicitors.
Our mission today is to extract the crucial business and legal lessons from this massive feud. We're looking at what happens when brilliant creative visions collide with, like, ironclad contracts.
Okay, let's unpack this. To understand the mechanics of this legal trap, we have to start by looking at the current reality as of August 2026.
Yeah, and it starts with something that usually is a completely routine celebrity event. In August 2026, Haerin appeared on the cover of Marie Claire Korea's September issue for ADOR.
Which, normally a huge brand partnership like that is cause for the fandom to celebrate.
Oh, absolutely. But this was her first official brand activity since the group formally returned to their agency, ADOR, after this massive legal dispute.
And the agency's statement to Yonhap News was, well, K-Net's absolutely slammed it. They said, we received an offer for a photo shoot, and after discussing it with Haerin, we decided to proceed.
It literally sounds like an excuse.
Right. It lacks all the standard hype you'd expect. It reads like a reluctant admission of fulfilling a contractual duty.
Which is why the fans are so tense. And to understand why, we have to go back to April 2024 when the relationship completely shattered. HYBZ audited ADOR and ousted their CEO and creative director, Hee-jin.
And she wasn't just a CEO, she was the creative visionary. She was basically a mentor to the group.
Yeah, and by November 2024, the situation was so toxic that the members held an emergency press conference. They announced they were terminating their contracts and even tried to rebrand as NJZ.
I mean, trying to unilaterally walk away at the peak of their success is unheard of. It requires abandoning massive global distribution and the trademark of their own name.
It's a huge risk.
I look at it like, imagine a group of brilliant engineers at a tech startup. They build the most successful app of the decade, but then the massive parent corporation fires their favorite manager.
The one who actually nurtured their talent.
Exactly. Yeah. And the culture turns hostile. Naturally, they want to take their IP and leave. It makes perfect business sense. But didn't they, the sources mentioned they submitted 11 specific grievances to justify breaking the contract.
Oh, they did. And these grievances, according to IPG Legal, detail a severely broken workplace. We're talking about a HYBE executive explicitly stating an intent to destroy their brand.
Wow.
Yeah. And they cited the leaking of private trainee photos and videos. Plus, there was a manager for another group who literally told an artist to ignore a NewJeans member right to her face.
That is just blatant disrespect.
And K-Nets were furious because the parent company was also pushing out albums from another group, Elite, allegedly designed to just copy their unique style and choreography.
Which totally undervalues their market position. If I'm an employee and my company is leaking my private data and plotting to destroy my brand, I'm absolutely considering my contract breached.
From a human standpoint, you're totally right. But the legal system, it doesn't really care about work taste decency.
Which brings us to the legal showdown in March and April of 2025.
Right. ADOR filed an injunction to strictly enforce the exclusive contracts, and the Seoul Central District Court sided entirely with the corporation.
So wait, the court basically said that as long as the corporate machinery is working, emotional damage just doesn't legally exist.
What's fascinating here is how the law views it. Kerwin Solicitors explains it comes down to freedom of contract and caveat emptor. Let the buyer beware.
Or in this case, let the signer beware.
Exactly. The court acknowledged the trust was broken. But under South Korean and English law, a breakdown in trust or losing a key creative figure does not automatically void a contract.
So the burden of proof was on the artists.
Yeah, they had to prove ADOR failed its core duties, like producing music and paying royalties. The judge pointed out the agency did all the logistical stuff, and letting the group walk away would financially damage the corporation.
So what does this all mean for the artists? It means they were legally trapped. They signed a standard 7-year exclusive contract that runs until 2029.
Like a corporate mortgage you can't refinance.
Perfect analogy. They couldn't use the NJZ name, they couldn't sign independent ads, and if they disobeyed, they faced indirect penalties of 1 billion won, is roughly 700,000 US dollars, for every single violation.
It's just massive financial ruin. There's literally no escape hatch.
Hey, if you love staying updated on the legal drama and the business behind your favorites, make sure you subscribe to StarScope K-Report. We've got even bigger scoops ahead, so hit that subscribe button.
You definitely want to stick around, because wait until you hear how this comeback was handled. It was a complete mess.
Oh, it really was. Because the law offered no escape, the group had to return in late 2025. After the final ruling, Haerin and Haerin officially announced their return.
But Minji, Hani, and Danielle issued a unilateral declaration through a lawyer. They claimed ADOR was completely unresponsive to their communications.
And the detail that just blew my mind, they noted a communication delay because one of the members was literally in Antarctica.
I know, it sounds absurd, but it just shows the absolute paralysis between them. They were communicating through lawyers across continents just to figure out how to walk back into the building.
And here's where it gets really interesting, because ADOR didn't just welcome them back with open arms.
No, they didn't. In December 2025, ADOR accepted Hani back and continued talks with Minji, but shockingly, they terminated Danielle's contract.
They didn't just terminate it, they made a brutal example out of her. They announced they were suing Danielle, her family, and former CEO Hee-jin.
For a staggering 43.1 billion won, which is about 38.3 million US dollars in penalty fees.
How does a corporation even justify $38 million in damages against a single 20-year-old?
It's all about liquidated damages. The agency calculates the projected lost revenue up to 2029, lost albums, touring, brand deals, and they lay all that massive projected loss squarely on Danielle.
The fallout was immediate. The group was forced into a 4-member lineup. ADOR systematically erased traces of Danielle and Hee-jin from their social media and Spotify.
They even changed the group's profile picture to an image of their official light stick.
Wow, just to avoid showing a group photo.
Yeah, just to avoid the awkwardness of either including her or noticeably excluding her. The fandom was devastated.
And then Danielle posted that tearful 10-minute video and letter in January 2026, the real secret message to the fans. She said, "My heart has not changed," and that the members will always be her family.
It just highlights this vast disconnect between the personal reality of these artists and the cold execution of corporate leverage.
It really does. But wait, that's not even the wildest part of this saga. While the artists were being hit with multi-million-dollar penalties, the executives were fighting their own high-stakes battles.
If you love deep dives like this, hit subscribe so you never miss a KT update, because we have to talk about the millions of dollars moving around at the very top of this company.
Let's get into it. In February 2026, the court ordered HYBE to pay former CEO Hee-jin a 25.5 billion won put option. That's about $17.7 million.
And just to clarify, a put option is a contractual right to sell shares back to a company at a guaranteed price, no matter the market value. It's a massive financial safety net.
HYBE tried to avoid it, right? They claimed she breached her contract by plotting to make ADOR independent.
They did, but the court said simply exploring options didn't constitute a severe enough breach to tear up the payout. And Hee-jin actually offered to forego the entire $17 million if HYBE would just drop all litigation against her and the girls.
That is a wild strategic move. She denied poaching the group and blamed the whole narrative on a stock manipulation scheme by an outside business person and a member's uncle.
And her claims of financial manipulation. They suddenly gained massive credibility in August 2026.
This is the explosive news that rocked the industry at the exact same time Haerin's magazine cover dropped. Chairman Bang Si-Hyuk is under police investigation for fraud.
The court actually froze a combined 260 billion won in assets. That's about $183 million, and half of that belongs directly to Chairman Bang.
So break this down for us. How does a CEO allegedly hide $183 million from his own investors?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it centers on the 2019 initial public offering, or IPO. Early shares are incredibly valuable. The police suspect Bang explicitly lied to existing investors.
He allegedly told them, "There are no plans to go public now. Sell your shares to the company we introduce and realize your investment gain."
Yeah, he urged them to cash out early, and the company he introduced them to was Eastone PE, a private equity fund founded with the help of a former HYBE director.
So he consolidates all this equity into a friendly third-party entity. And then in 2020, HYBE goes public anyway. The shares skyrocket.
Eastone PE sells off the stake for an astronomical profit, and the allegation is that Bang had a secret backdoor deal to pocket 30% of those massive post-IPO gains.
It's a textbook case of defrauding early investors, and the contrast here is it's the ultimate corporate irony.
It really is. You have HYBE strictly enforcing contract law to penalize young artists and trap them in a hostile environment, suing a 20-year-old for $38 million.
But simultaneously, the chairman is accused of this massive financial deception. And for the artists, the law moved swiftly. The injunction was granted in months.
Right, caveat emptor was applied mercilessly to the girls. But for the executives, the fraud investigation has dragged on for over a year and a half. Prosecutors keep rejecting arrest warrants, asking for further investigation.
It shows that corporate executives get endless due process, while artists get career-halting injunctions.
Which is something you really have to think about, you know? The justice system strictly enforced the letter of the contract against the young artists of NewJeans to protect the corporation's bottom line. But when corporate leadership allegedly manipulates the financial system for hundreds of millions of dollars, the legal process just drags on for years. It raises the question, does our current legal framework actually ensure fairness, or does it primarily exist to insulate and protect the capital of those already in power?
That is a heavy but incredibly necessary thought for all of you to mull over. Whether you're signing an employment contract or a creative deal, bad deals offer very little legal protection.
You've got to read the fine print.
You've been listening to StarScope K-Report, where Eric and Minji bring you the stories shaping K-pop, K-dramas, and the global Hallyu wave. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.